Hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Bill Tucci.
Behold his mighty hand.
Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang, Tucci gang.
Just want to manage expectations.
Weird.
This is the worst.
Dude, that was a good bell.
I know that was a good one.
Bell. That was a good one. I liked it. It threw some energy at me. Sometimes sometimes you hit it and it's a little like what, just at the side of the palm or something.
Neutered, if you will.
Neutered, yes.
Hairless.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how I like it. Oh. Anyway, speaking of Brazilians, you're going to be going to Baltimore Comic-Con?
Yes, I heard there's a bunch of Brazilians in Baltimore. No, that's probably Haitians. Hello.
Oh, ding ding.
Oh. Yeah, can't wait.
Right.
Psyched about it. Looking forward to it. Wonder if anybody else out there is going to be joining me. I'll be I don't know. We have a booth somewhere, Debbie and I. I don't know where the booth is, but we're gonna have a great time. I did some art for the art auction.
Oh, you did?
If anybody's gonna go, we're putting up this Well, it's for the charity auction. Whoops.
Yes.
Ooga.
So it's the 50th anniversary.
Tick piece, which is an homage to Amazing Fantasy 15, of course.
Yes.
So that's going to go up for sale. And then for the Hear It initiative, I did a she.
Oh, nice.
Ooh la la. So I did a nice super she, which will be a cover. I'm going to make this a cover because I liked it. And then the Tick spoon.
Everyone did a Tick piece, right?
Everyone. It was the Tick's 40th anniversary.
No, 30th. 30th. Oh, no, the cartoon's the 30th, right? Dolan may know. Me and Dolan like
Dolan may know. Dolan, no shit.
Dolan may
Man.
know. Do you know the creator of the Tick?
Yeah, Ben Edlund. Yep. Hung out with him back in the day. I haven't seen him in a decade, though. It's been a month of Sundays.
Oh,
So I'm hoping he's there and at the bar.
He is going to be there. That'd be like really weird. Like if you're like, hey, come on my show.
Hey, Ben. And he's like, yeah, I don't know who you are. I don't even think
like,
he's got any social media.
He's on X, bro.
Is he on X, bro?
He's on the X.
Why didn't I thought I tried to find him on the X.
He is. He's on there.
You got to be kidding me.
I swear. But we got a great show tonight.
Great show.
We got a couple of our buddies back in the house. Welcome them back to the show. We're going to be talking about a new venture they're doing with TCM Press. This is pretty cool. Got some titles. They're going to do their official launch at New York Comic-Con 2024.
Isn't that something?
24.
Isn't that
That's
wonderful?
Here, Billy.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's within this year. So let's bring him on, Billy. Everyone, please welcome back Mr. Aaron Sparrow and Mr. Dolan Waddick. What's up, Jen?
Hey, good to be here. Thursday Night Live with Billy Tucci.
That was
On
really good.
Wednesday.
Musical guest, the Spin Doctors.
And Tony Randall.
Oh, man. We got the best house band. That's all I got to say.
So funny. We're so funny. We really are.
Whatever happened to the Spin Doctors?
Well, I couldn't stand them. I thought they sucked. I thought they were like hippies and shit, and I didn't like that stuff.
Hippies.
Thank you, hippies. Boys, what is up? What do you guys have going on?
Oh my gosh, what isn't going on? We've got so much stuff happening right now. So much running up to the New York Comic-Con. We just announced TCM Press, which is powered by the Comic Mint. Drew, I'll let you. You've gotten so good at this pitch. I'll hand it over to you and let you go for it.
Yeah, let's see that.
Yeah, so Steve Finkel, the owner of the Comic Mint, has decided to get into the publishing game, and he has now started up his own publishing imprint, TCM Press, with 3 titles, all 3 of which I will be writing, and all 3 of which will be edited by all-star editor Aaron Sparrow, right over here. We've got, and we got Silent Nights, Depths of Valor, and my creator-owned series, Unholy Nightmare. And I could not be more excited the fact that they chose me over any other writer at Marvel or DC. They came to me first, and I like to think we're going to be knocking these books out of the park, and people are going to be blown away when they get these books in hand.
That's
I bet you
fantastic.
I
What
bet they
made
will.
them did they let you like dive into the thought process of why they wanted to go into the publishing realm?
Not really. No, they just I mean, they called me up in April and said they had a Tiago. This all started based off of a cover that a pinup that Tiago de Silva had done for Penthouse Comics. Just Femme Fatale, and he asked me if I could be able to do a story based around this Femme Fatale. And he said the story needs to be silent nice. I'm like, yep, I got it. I'll have it for you in a day. They're like, what? You have the script done in a day? Like, yeah, give me a day. I'll have it done. And yeah, I had a first draft done in a day, and before we knew it, we had like 3 drafts in, and it is a complete kick-ass, sexy story. And we like to think it's what Black Widow should be. And everyone who loves Black Widow will be very proud of this book.
Oh, nice. Now, the Comic Mint is known primarily for like variant covers and things, right? Getting like artists in to do variant covers and stuff for books that are coming out.
Yeah, that's correct. And if you go to New York Comic Con, they as soon as you go up to the main exhibitor floor, they're like the biggest booth for comics, and they always have no kidding, they always have the longest line. It is the line ride. It's one long line going all the way down to one wall, and everyone has a clipboard out with all the books they want to get. And inevitably, by the time you get up there, they're all sold out. But we're working out a deal where we can figure out a way to do some cross promotion. So because we're going to be connected with the Comic Mint, be like, hey, if you get a book here at the Comic Mint, you'll get like a discount if you go over to TCM Press, get some books. We haven't finalized it yet, but we're gonna do some fun stuff.
Awesome. Are you guys gonna be doing like signings and things at their booth?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'll let Aaron speak on this. If you want to.
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna have the Depths of Valor artist Nate Watson out there. So he'll be signing books. We'll be signing books. Drew, is going to have Unholy Nightmare out there. We're going to have a special edition of Unholy Nightmare, which has a Unholy Nightmare Kneel Before Doomface crossover cover. So it will actually be the first cover appearance of Doomface that you can get at NYCC before we launch. Before we start. Finishing up the book and sending it out. So there's going to be a lot of exciting stuff there, and we'll be there just to chat with people and talk to anybody that comes up, wants to talk about comics or wants to talk about YouTube or anything that you guys want to talk about. We are there for you, the customer.
Excellent. Where are you guys going to be at New York Comic Con?
So Drew, where's the booth? Like when you know the layout better than I do.
Yeah, booth number 3635. As soon as like literally you walk up, you go up the floor 1, first floor. You walk in, you're going to get past like the art vendors and everything. So you walk in and like in Viz Press, but as soon as you walk down that main aisleway, you'll see the Comic Mint, big, huge banners with all their like the 30 different variants that they're going to have, like over 30 variants they're going to have for the show. And you're going to see a long line. And like you see a long line, okay, that's for the Comic Mint. And it's one of those things that I'm going to be taking the video of it because people always think I'm joking. Like, no, they have the longest line. It is insane.
Yeah, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about because you go right once you go into the building, you go right up that first staircase or that middle staircase, and you go into the area. So they're right above, obviously, like Artist Alley. You go down, right,
correct.
But you're gonna go up to that first main floor with the vendors and everything, and they're right up there. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. Now, Aaron, man, how did you get involved in this to start editing these books?
Well, when Drew got brought on for these gigs, I was already doing Unholy Nightmare for him. And, Drew and I have worked together on a number of books, including Born of Blood. I've read like a lot of his scripts and given him notes on it. We've had a really good working relationship. So when they said like, hey, we want to do this imprint and we want to do, we want to start publishing books. Drew said, I want to get the very best editor in the business on this. And if I can't get him, I'll get Aaron Sparrow. And so that's, so that's how I ended up with the gig.
Nice.
But, Drew is a really good friend of mine. We've become, ever since starting out at Merck, we've become really good friends. And so no matter what play he was going to make, I was going to back it up. So even if, they hadn't hired me directly, I still would have been giving him, I still would have been reading through his scripts for him and helping out. So it's just nice that I'm also getting paid for it. And it's been a great working relationship so far. Really like Steven, really like the Comic Mint so far. And the way that they're kind of structured is, I've said this before, but a lot of publishers you go to work for, and they're like, I'm going to be hands off, with the creative, you guys are the creative ones. I just have these ideas, and I'll throw them out, and then you guys run with them. And you get that a lot until things start to get popular, things start to, go pretty well, or, there's some claim for it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I want to get back in here now because I want my name on this and I want to get my fingers in, and then everything goes to hell. So, I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Comic Mint. Steven seems to know like what he's comfortable with, and what we're good at. And so it's I'm really hopeful for this because, there's just such a dearth of books going out to the mainstream right now, going out to shops that, there's just stuff that they can't sell. So the idea that we'll be able to get in there and maybe produce some books that'll actually get people talking and get, put butts in the seats and get people going into their comic book store, that's what I want. Ultimately that's what I want, is I want a healthier industry. Obviously, everybody's killing it on the indies right now. Crowdfunding's going great. Billy, you're killing it. Everybody's doing a great job. And I think that's where the best work is being done. So this is an opportunity to, go in with a little indie company, do some really great work, and then at some point get that out to shops.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to go right into the direct market?
No, we're going to do Kickstarters, but once you build up a little bit of a little bit of a library, then you can go out to the direct market. It's kind of like always my idea. Even with Kneel Before Doomface, which of course I'm crowdfunding. It's the way I'm writing it is so that it can be broken up. The book that people will order will be a thicker book, but I can break it up into individual issues and eventually offer it out to shops. Because I do eventually want to get to a point where we're trying to support them as well.
Yeah.
Nice. So what's the focus for TCM, like the genres, the type of stuff you guys are putting together? Because most publishers, especially like smaller publishers, like Vault has a lot of like horror and things like that. Like what is TCM's goal?
Well, so far we got 3 titles. One is action espionage, one is horror, and one is like a suspense thriller. So right now we're all over the place. We kind of want to do like just a different variety of books, see what people are interested in, tons of different ideas, but, just put high quality people on them and churn out the best work possible. So no matter what your flavor is, there's something that you can come check out.
Nice. Will you be doing Christian books like IDW now?
What you're doing? That hasn't come up yet, but no, you mean modernized Christian books. So Jesus is an ad executive, and Judas is upset that he's not in the Apostle Discord, and he betrays Jesus for 30 pieces of Dogecoin. All of that kind of stuff that we've been joking about. But I don't think that's gonna go well for him. If they do like something like when they say modern Christian stories, if they're talking about like, we're going to tell a story about faith that's set in the modern day, kind of like a God's Not Dead kind of movie or something like that.
Judas is wearing a Hell Satan shirt at Comic-Con.
Yeah, like Heather Antos running around, with just really promoting herself at cons.
Did they lay her off yet? Is that
no? I think because of your boy Zach, I think she is immortal. At any company. I think until the company dies, like she's the Remora that just cannot, will not let go until that corpse is done.
Yeah, we got a comment from our buddy Jimmy Reyes. How we doing, brother? Aaron Sparrow, if you need an artist, I'd like to work with you. Covers short story.
I would love to work with Jimmy. Jimmy has got a book that like I've been praising and saying I think looks super cool. And I actually reached out to Jimmy and I said, if you need any editorial, you let me know. I will be happy to help because his book looks cool. And that's like where I'm at, kind of like in my sensibility of my career, if you want to call it that, is that I love the idea of helping out indie people and helping them make their project the best version of it that it can be. People are afraid that you're going to come in as an editor and you're going to go like change this and get rid of that character and this is stupid and you're going to like completely like alter their story. That's not what I do. What I do is I come in and I look at it and I say, what are you trying to accomplish here? Mm-hmm. And from there, we will work out the best version of this story and keep it as close to what you have down here as possible. All we're going to do is sand the rough edges. So
now, are you guys going to bring your titles into TCM, or are you still going to keep it separate, like your own personal stuff, like the stuff you've been, that we've had you on for the, this show with, in years past? Are you going to bring more of your IPs over, or are you just going to work on creating, more new stories?
There's always that possibility. With Kneel Before Doomface, we're not done with the book now, or we're not done with the book yet. So, Unholy Nightmare was finished. So it was kind of, the deal just seemed like, it was kind of a no-brainer and it just worked out really well. So not sure on Kneel Before Doomface yet, but I'm certainly not adverse to working with TCM on a number of different, ideas or IPs.
Yeah. Dolan, what about you? Because, you got, your book, but like any of your other IPs, are you thinking of trying to get over?
Honestly, Aaron will tell you, I've got so many projects I'm writing right now. I mean, between the 3 with TCM Press and between I think 6 to 8 different projects I'm writing for Murat Michaels right now. Literally, they're all coming out next year. But between Murat and Steve, I'm kept busy right now.
Excellent.
Man, Mariah's so selfish. What the
Could
hell?
you guys go into detail of the TCM properties if you can, as much as I know but like give us a little.
Let's bring up a cover, Billy.
When they're going to launch, like in that order. If it's one, when you're planning on it, et cetera, et cetera. Awesome cover.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's by Stephen Diffendini. He did that one. He actually hand painted that. It's all on canvas. It's actually very, very beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. This is our Femme Fatale book, and it all started. This Silent Nights is all based on a pinup. So yeah, this is our international intrigue, espionage, a little bit of dash of AI, maybe a little dash of robots, but it's some blood, guts, sexiness. It's gonna have everything in this book, and it's gonna be nonstop. All the way. There's no pacing for the trade in this series.
Oh, fantastic! He's a lovely shape. I like the shape.
Yes.
Excellent.
And what's the schedule? What are we launching first? Are we launching Silent Nights first? What's the game plan? And
yeah, as far as I know, the plan right now, I believe they're going to be launching Silent Nights #1 on Kickstarter at the beginning of October. From what I understand.
Excellent.
This one I'm curious about, Depths of Valor.
So this is the one. I'm not going to do my own horror. I'm just going to talk about the plot, then I'll let Aaron talk about it later. But this was based on an idea. This was pitched to me by Stephen Finkel, the owner of the Comic Mint. This was originally going to be a novel, but it didn't turn out that way. So he actually pitched this to me 2 years ago at New York Comic Con when I had done Born of Blood. He said that he thought about me for a World War II book. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe. But nothing came of it until this year. And essentially, this is based around this is actually true. I'm sure, Billy, in your neck, what you heard about this? A German U-boat was discovered 60 miles up the New Jersey coast back in the late 1990s. And according to the Nazi Party records, this was recorded. It's supposed to have been sunk off the coast of Morocco. How did this German U-boat that was supposed to have been sunk off Morocco wind up 60 miles from the New Jersey coast? So we're going to get into that. We're going to be exploring this final mission of this German U-boat, how it got so close to the New Jersey coast, what it was going to do. Were there any survivors? We're going to get into all that as well. And it's going to be a fun historical with a dash and a little step into fiction, and just a good thriller for people. It's going to be very, very fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun mystery. We brought a longtime collaborator of mine, Nathan Watson, onto this title. Nate's doing the best work of his career. He's just such a great and dependable artist. And I was really glad to give him an opportunity to get back into doing comic book art. Because he was when I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you want to do some work? I haven't, talked to you in a while. He was like, oh my God, yes, I do want to do some. I was just thinking about how he goes, I was just talking to my wife the other day about how I think I'd like to get back into comics and do some comic work. And he goes, and then you called me. And I said, yeah, speak of the devil and the devil appears. So we're really excited about this title. This is one. So Drew gave me the script for Silent Nights. And I told him, I said, this is really good. This is one of the best things you've ever written. And then he gave me the script for this. And I wrote back to him and I was like, I only have a few grammatical notes. I don't have any story notes at all. This is the strongest thing you've ever written. This is the best thing you've ever done. That first issue is just absolutely killer. I'm waiting for him to give me the script for the second issue so I can read that. But we just went over all the story beats for the rest of the series, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be unexpected.
How so with Silent Nights, and then let's just start with that. Are these you're calling them series? But so how are you going to release that on Kickstarter first? Is it a graphic novel? Is it 48 pages? Is it 64 pages? Is it a couple of issues? Is it just one issue and then every few months you'll launch the next one, or will you intersperse your other titles too?
So each one we're planning right now to be for Silent Nights and Depths of Valor. They're going to be 6 issues each, and each one is going to be between 22, maybe 26 pages each, depending on the pacing and how much action we want to have in each book. But so they're going to be serialized.
Are those going to be all? Is that the first one? Say it's Silent Nights. Just say because we pulled that up first. Is that going to be the first launch for you guys, or will you intercede it with the other titles?
So yeah, Silent Nights will be first in October, and I'm sure we'll probably end up launching probably Depths of Valor in November, and I'm sure Unholy Nightmare again probably in December.
Oh, cool. So then you'll go like a round robin. Very good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's it seems to be like
Great
probably the best way to do it, and it gives us a little bit of production time. It gives us time for for any unexpected errors that any problems that come up with printers or anything like that. We've got a little bit of room, because what we'd like to do is we'd like to have the model where the book is done or almost done at the time that the campaign launches, and so we can fulfill quickly.
That's fantastic.
That's cool.
All right, and let's bring up Unholy Nightmare, Dolan.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is Aurelia Mazzara and I. This is our baby. I've already written the first 12 issues of this series, all done, ready to go. I'm working on issues 13 and 14 right now. So there is a plan for everything is going, and it's going to get wild and crazy. And this cover is done by Nate Watson. He's doing the interiors for Depths of Valor. He killed it. Aurelia loves it, and this is our superhero horror story. And this is our little love letter to the 1990s of Image Comics. And if you love that action, that high intensity, that in-your-face art, you're going to love this series.
That's awesome. Now, will you guys have any sample pages for any of these series, like after you officially, kind of launch, at New York Comic Con?
So for Silent Nights, we were just talking about this, and I said why haven't we sent out like sample pages to people? And then I started thinking about Silent Nights, and I was like, pretty much every page of Silent Nights is either a little too racy for public consumption, or it gives something away about the plot. And so I was like, what do we do? So we've got to figure that out. But there's no reason we can't release some Depths of Valor pages. I know that Unholy Nightmare pages are out there. Obviously, we've shown off that, but Drew, I guess you want to send him over some stuff that he can throw up on screen. You got anything ready
for Silent Nights or Depths of Valor? Or,
let's maybe avoid Silent Nights unless you can find a page that doesn't give anything away.
Yeah, I think I have a page that doesn't give anything away. Hold on one second.
Okay, I think there is at least one sexy page that doesn't give anything
While
away.
you look, let's pop this up, because Dolan sent me this over just a couple minutes ago.
Yes, that is by Juan Jose Reap. That is our New York Comic Con exclusive Doomface Recluse crossover cover. So that's
so cool.
That's a nice little
so
cool.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I gotta tell you too, just like I'm having so much fun with Neil before Doomface. I think it's gonna be the best thing I've ever written. Obviously that's for the readers to decide and not for me, but it's definitely the project that I have had the most fun on and the most fun with. And my interior artist, Renzo Rodriguez, is just absolutely killing it. We've got colors by Oscar Carreno. This book is going to look so good.
Nice. Dan's getting a copy.
Yeah.
Let's go, Dan. Get that copy.
Great Dan Genovese. He don't fuck around, that kid.
That's right.
What's up, Survive Infinity? That is cool.
So
that is awesome.
Yeah, it's just good. It's gonna be an absolute blast, and I can't wait to come. Hopefully, I can come back when we're launching that and talk about it and show off all the.
Of course, anytime, bro. Yeah, anytime you guys want to come on.
All right. So how are you? So you've worked for big publishers, right? You've worked on some really decent IPs. We've heard your story when you were on the show last time. How are you feeling about this? Like, is this something new? Is it bringing new energy to you, new inspiration?
Yeah, I've rediscovered my love of comic books through this. It absolutely, there's something about working on your own stuff and not having a bunch of suits that are in charge of licensing telling you what you can and you can't do. You can't make this joke because this will offend this person. You need to tone this down. You can't do that because our big book of rules says that you can't show that, or you can't do that, or Darkwing can't have his gun on the cover, even though it's a gas gun, even if you put a grappling hook in it, because now no more guns on covers because guns. It just, all of that is gone, and so I can do whatever the hell I want. So one of the covers that I've shown off just a piece of, I haven't shown off the whole cover, and I think that when we show off the whole cover, people are going to go nuts. But we've got one of our characters, Colonel Silverstreak, punching Justin Trudeau, a la Captain America punching Hitler on Captain America #1. So it's like we're getting to have some kind of fun. It's not a political book. It's definitely satirical. It makes fun of a lot of things in the comic book industry. It makes fun of a lot of things in just our daily lives. But it is the story of a villain who was banished in the 1980s, coming back in the year 2024 and deciding to reestablish himself and having to deal with the world as it is now, as opposed to the way it was in the 80s. And then the B story is two superheroes coming to the big city, to make a name for themselves and discovering that breaking into the modern superhero industry is like trying to break into the modern comic book industry. So the first obstacle that they really come up against is not villains, but is the Social Justice League, who are there to check their privilege.
Great, dude.
I've read this script, and I got to say, if you love the Tick, you will love this story. It is very much as the Tick vibe from Ben Edlund and Eli Stone. It is terrific.
Yeah, that's really what I was going for, because I'm such a huge fan of like Sam and Max by Steve Purcell. Obviously I did Darkwing, so I'm known for superhero spoof. I love the Tick and the Venture Brothers and all of those things. And it's kind of like in South Park, with their kind of like willingness to take shots at everybody. And that's kind of what this book is. But the book also has heart. It's about found family. Ultimately there's a love story. There's all kinds of things that are going to go into this. It's really kind of a big experiment for me to see how many different types of stories I can tell within this framework.
That's so cool. I love that. And we got some interior samples here. Look at that. Yep. Ooh la la.
Great art.
Yeah. So this is before it's going to be a fully colored book. But yeah, this is before the colors. I tried to find a page that didn't have a lettering in it. So I'm like, okay, here's one we can use.
Yeah. So I've seen this page in color already.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And it makes me proud because I always wanted to have a female who smoked in a book that I wrote, and I finally got to incorporate that into this. So it felt good.
Yeah.
Why did you want a female that smoked?
Honestly, I'm not saying there's something sexy about it, in my opinion, and it's just like it feels. And I just like to have a badass character who smokes, and you don't really see that anymore in comic books.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah,
that's why I gave Lexi a cigar on that one, the one Doomface cover. She's smoking a cigar. It's sitting on Doomface's throne.
Hell yeah!
Nolan goes to the bar. He like pulls a pack of cigarettes out. He's like, "Excuse me, miss, put this in."
I don't like cigarettes.
Right.
I don't like cigarette smoking. I don't like cigarette smoking. But if a woman smokes a cigar,
oh yeah,
or a pipe. Smoking a pipe. Pipe smoke is the best smoke on the planet. That smells amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You're like, you want a chick who's like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah, I smoke a pipe.
Hey, you want to go back to my place, champ?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Blowing bubbles out of the
right, blowing bubbles out. And we got this interior.
Yeah, here's the opening page.
Fantastic. For which book? Same book?
For Silent Night.
Yep,
yeah.
same. Yep,
Night.
Same book. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any Depths of Valor by any chance?
Yeah, I do. What do you
I feel like
say,
you're holding
Aaron?
out, Dolan. I feel like you're holding out here.
Yeah.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure.
You want to say trick or treat or something? You know?
He's like, yeah, I have it.
He's like, I have it.
Yeah, no, you can't see it.
Well, you can't see it. And we got to show some interiors. We got to get people interested, right? You got great covers. We got to see some interior work.
Yeah, let's show off some of what Nate did, man.
Okay.
Any photos of your live models? I don't know. Anything for the ratings.
Really?
Right? Neither of you guys are going to Baltimore, right? No?
No, neither one of us are at Baltimore, but we're both at New York.
Yeah.
Billy, are you coming to New York?
I'll just be there on Thursday.
Oh, okay. Well, let's if you got time, let's get together.
Yeah, sure. We're heading out. We're leaving Thursday night. We get there. We'll get there Thursday. It's my son's college parents' weekend.
Oh, gotcha.
So we're gonna go and see him and stuff like that. But
very nice.
We'll talk before that for sure. So what are you guys going to be debuting at New York Comic Con? What are you guys going to actually have?
We're going to have the preview editions for Silent Nights as well as Depths of Valor. We're going to have the preview books for them. So they're going to have some preview pages in there, some concept art, but we're going to have the full issue of Unholy Nightmare there for available.
Great.
All right, here we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, looks good.
I like that.
Yeah. Nate's so damn good. This is a guy, I've told this story multiple times now, but I'm going to keep telling it because I think it's funny. And maybe Billy, as an artist, you can appreciate this because maybe you've had people in your career who didn't believe in you, and then you proved them all wrong. When Nate was working with me, he was drawing Toy Story. He was working with Jesse Blaze Snyder and I on Toy Story.
Oh, I love Jesse.
And, yeah, Jesse's great.
Yep.
And he's one of my best friends. And so Nate was doing like a really killer job. He was putting up with the horrible deadlines because we were behind the gun. He was putting up with all of the stupid notes. And he just made a simple request to me, which was, and I'd really like to like take a crack at doing superheroes again. Can you maybe like, and I noticed that they keep losing artists on one of Mark Waid's books, Incorruptible. Could you put my name in? And I was like, absolutely. I think you'd be great for that book. I was like, I hate to lose you on Toy Story, but I want you to be happy. I want you to work on, and I know that this gig is stressful and I know you'll kill it. So I went to the managing editor at the time, Matt Gagnon, and I told him, I said, Nate wants to take a crack at Incorruptible. And he just kind of laughed and he goes, Nate's not ready for prime time.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, first of all, I think it's cute that you consider this book prime time, but a book at Boom prime time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I had to go back and I had to tell Nate this. And because it's like I'm always honest with the people that I work with. I try not to sugarcoat things. I try to be completely honest. I said, look, I tried, but he just doesn't have the confidence in you. But I want you to know I think it's bullshit. I think you're great. Shortly thereafter, Nate got hired by Lucasfilm before the dark times, before Disney, to go work for George in his art department, designing ships and environments. And so Nate went from not being prime time enough for Boom Studios to actually sitting down with George once a week and George giving him notes on his drawings and saying, add this, take this away, and this will be cool. So I don't think there's anything more prime time than that. So now I always refer to Nate as Nathan Primetime Watson. So if you see him in New York, make sure to say, what's up, Primetime?
Love it.
Dude, that's awesome. Did he like send anything back? Like, is this prime time enough for you?
No. Nate is a classy dude. Nate is not. He won't get down in the mud like I will.
Yeah, how cool would that
time,
be?
bitch.
Like working with George Lucas and him just like you designing shit with him.
He told me a story about like the first couple times he met with George, he would say things and George wouldn't answer, and he thought that George was just like aloof and like wasn't, like it was like, oh, he doesn't like me or something. And then if someone explained, said, what side of him are you sitting on? And he was like, I'm sitting on this side. And they were like, oh, he can't hear out of that ear very well. You need to sit on the other side of him. He literally cannot hear you talking to him. If he's looking at your stuff, he's not gonna, it's not gonna register.
And he's like, how come this kid doesn't talk? His art's good, but why doesn't he talk?
He's just sitting here, and it's so awkward.
It's so awkward,
Wait, no, let me do it. Let me do my George. This is very, very awkward. It's just not. This kid's not talking. It's just very. Just I don't know. It's like poetry. It rhymes.
He slid me a lifesaver. That's freaking cool, man. So now, all right. So you guys have made this announcement, right? You guys are putting it out there. Have people been coming out to you, curious about, hey, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, we've had a really good response from people. Obviously we got our Thinking Critical crowd. Billy, I would be remiss if I didn't say that Wes would love to have you on Thinking Critical sometime if you ever want to come on. And
anytime. I'd love to. Love to.
So we'll put that together. But our crowd's been really enthusiastic about it. The people that follow us on social media have been enthusiastic about it. Everybody's kind of like, what is this? What are you guys doing? Tell us more about it. So we're trying to get the word out, and hopefully when people buy their preview editions, I hope that they read through them. I hope they don't just like put them in a slab and call it a day. I hope they actually read them and they talk about them online and put pages up and give us reviews. I want to hear what the people think.
Yeah.
But now, will you guys be doing, because you're doing the crowdfunding first, right? And then hopefully as you build the library up, then you can go to the distributors at that point. Will you be doing digital copies of these books as well? Or are you going to keep them to just physical?
Do you know the answer to that, Drew? I have not talked to Murphy about that.
Well, I do know Murphy likes doing the digital PDFs. We did a digital PDF for Unholy Nightmare. So I would imagine they'll probably do a digital PDF for like $5, maybe $10. Probably $5.
All right, and that'll be for all the 3 titles we saw?
I believe so. Yeah, that's just the plan for right now. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Now, as a new, again, it's not, so you, obviously there's someone that owns a publishing company. You guys, you're writing, you're editing. Are they looking for reviewers? Are they looking to try to get these books into the hands of the people that are on YouTube talking about comics and things like that? Is that something they're looking to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I always have other projects of people that are looking for reviews. So, if there's people out there that want to review stuff, send me a message on X or send me a message on Instagram. Let me know, because I'll be happy to get you some stuff to take a look at.
Yeah, and the reason I mentioned that is because we get a lot of emails from small press and stuff, and they're like, "Do you want to review books and things?" And then they send us like stacks of a series to review. And
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, they give you all the variant covers as well. This is Death. Well, this one right here, this is Death Stalker. So this was Slash from Guns N' Roses book. I think Tim Seeley worked on it.
And they have that many. They have that many covers. That's all variants.
There's 3 variants per each issue. So like they gave me multiple copies of each variant cover. So I have 3 copies of like 3 variant covers per each issue.
I've worked for companies that didn't send me that many comps.
I've never had that many come, especially for reviewing. But they've seen like some of our shows where we have multiple people on. So I'm thinking maybe they thought this is going to go to a few people, right? So we'll send one out or whatever. But we've been getting a lot of those emails. I've got other stacks of stuff that I still have to record, or digitals. They send digitals out to review and whatnot. But a lot of them are reaching out and partnering. I'm partnered with Massive. So I do like once a month, I do like a massive event, like a massive Wednesday. And then we bring out whatever book's coming out that month. We do it that night, right? We bring the artist on, we talk about the book, we go through it. And it's gotten some pretty decent reception from people. So again, like if I wasn't sure if you guys were going to go that route, but I think that's definitely something to talk to whomever you have to. I think that's a good thing to get people actually talking about the content.
Yeah, no, and that's always the biggest hurdle, right? Is the marketing, is getting people to know about the project.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
definitely. And you mentioned Murphy. She's she's a part. Is she a part of TCM as well, or is she just kind of still dealing with the crowdfunding end of things?
No, she is our editor-in-chief.
Oh, fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So, returning, like I keep saying, everybody who made Merc viable for that brief window, with the exception of Joe Corallo, we're all over at TCM now. So you basically
all transitioned over.
Yeah, and so now we just got to get enough books to where we can bring Joe on, and then the entire brain trust that made Merc work will, and actually got books out the door and got people excited about the properties and told those stories. We'll hopefully I'll be cranking stuff out at TCM and making people happy with some cool comics.
That's really cool. That's really cool that you guys were able to bring that team over.
Excellent, yeah.
I always look out for my people. Drew always looks out for his people. Murphy, it's like we all kind of like have the same mindset. There's so much, and I know it's not just comics. It's every industry, but there's just so much like backstabbing and things like that that go on. And I've always been a loyalty guy. So, if I can ever give anybody a leg up, or I can ever make a connection for somebody that'll help them be successful, I try to do it. Like even just bringing Nate onto Depths of Valor. It's like he can do the work. He's a good guy. He deserves it. Let's get him in here.
Well, it's cool because you get to bring the people you like to work with, the people that have helped you grow. You've grown something with them already, and now being able to transition to this opportunity and bring them with you and bring more of them with you as it grows is pretty awesome. I mean, getting to know Billy through these past few years and seeing his work and meeting his the people that he works with. I mean, you start to talk and then you realize like, oh, shit, Billy, you've been working with some of these people for 20 years that are still working on the books now. I mean, it's just that great camaraderie of when something works and you make true friends and you can be creative. This is a really cool process.
Yeah, and Billy, you
did we
like
just freeze up?
You've got such a great reputation amongst people. Like anytime I ever like mention you or you come up in conversation, people are like, "Oh, I love Billy." It's like just right away.
Right,
you were able to say like, "Hey, I'm Comicsgate," and I mean, I'm sure that there were some long knives that came out for you, but like you didn't get canceled, like because
I was canceled way before that anyway because I voted for Romney in 2012.
Oh, okay.
He was
already I've been canceled like 3, 4, 5 times. Hasn't stuck. Because I've never wanted to be like at the big 2 really. So like, what are you gonna take from me?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's. I don't know. I had some fun with the stuff I did with them, with working with friends or doing my own stuff. But you know, I don't know. You guys know you get far more success, far more satisfaction out of doing your own creator-owned stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And indie stuff. That's really the way to go, in my humble opinion. And you're gonna be well. You already know. You already know. I don't have to tell you. But I love it. I love exactly where I'm at. I love launching these new campaigns. We're back in comic shops ourselves, so that's great. So things are friggin' cool, man. It's really cool.
The captain of your own ship again.
Captain of my own ship, master of my own domain.
Like a love boat over there, though. So be careful.
I remember buying She #1 off the rack. I was like, "What is this?" You know, the very first issue. You know, and I was like, "This looks great."
Yeah, that was nuts, man. It was nuts. Very, very, very lucky. Very fortunate.
Yeah, that's cool.
Again, I want that figure. I want that action figure that you have out. I don't have it yet, and I need to get it.
Yeah, they got like we got 6 left, I think. So
are they all signed? Because I need to take it out. Like the packaging means nothing to me.
But no, I don't sign the figures. The boxes, I sign the boxes. So,
so just keep the
I
box.
don't even know if I signed them all. I might have signed them all, but we're taking, I think, 3 of them with us to Baltimore, and that's it. But yeah, that did really well for us. So we're looking forward to doing something new. It's been a great ride, a great ride, and we have a lot going. Especially this year's our 30th anniversary, so we're able to share, you know, do some real specialty items and all. And but now I'm looking forward to 2025. We got 3 new She graphic novels coming out, starting with Gatecrasher, which is launching next month sometime, and then 2 new She graphic novels, and then a whole new character we're launching, whole new IP. So,
ooh,
yeah,
nice.
I'm intrigued.
It's gonna be fun.
We're gonna have a good time, man.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun, right? We're gonna have a lot of fun. Come on, let's have fun.
No, look, it's absolutely fantastic. Like I love, you know, guys. I know, like, but like I'm like new character. But see, I can't. He's being cagey. He's like new character, new IP, and then he just goes quiet, and I'm like, well, I can't. I mean, he's not going to answer me, so like I'm just like,
I can't explain.
What could it be?
That will debut. We'll have a debut issue of it, a preview issue of it at next year's San Diego Comic-Con, and then we'll launch the campaign around October for next year.
It's awesome. I love seeing all the guys doing this. I love getting into it myself. You know, it's like I was talking about loyalty, and I've been friends with Aaron Lopresti for years. He was the first guy that I met at my first San Diego Comic-Con that was like a professional that kept in touch with me. And he's just been a great friend over the years. And when he got canceled and he was getting attacked because he was going to go do Wraith of God, you know, and like all these people turned on him, and people that he'd worked with for years, like turned their back on him. You know, I made sure I was like, I went out on Twitter and I was like, I don't like, you know what, like, what are they going to do to me? You know, like, first of all, they're going to keep me from some low paying DC work. Mark Waid's going to be mad at me. Mark Waid's already mad at me. I don't care. He already called me a Comicsgate apologist, you know? Right. So I went out there and I vehemently defended him. And that's, you know, that's what I think that, you know, as long as we stand strong and we speak, you know, the truth about the people that we know, and, you know, they're good people. And just because you don't like their politics, or you don't like the fact that they know this guy or they talk to this guy, I talk to everybody, you know. It's like, and I get little night letters in my inbox saying like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to that person. And I'm always like, piss off. You know, you're not the boss of me. You don't get to tell me who I can talk to. I certainly wouldn't abandon you if somebody told me to not talk to you, person who's sending me this letter. So you know, you gotta but yeah, I think that's important. And I love, I don't
care what anyone else's politics are too. That's another thing. Why do we care? I don't care what your politics are.
I was telling Billy, I was like, you know, I talked to a bunch of pros and things, you bump into them, you start conversations, you start mentioning names, and the first thing that comes out of their mouth isn't like, oh, they're great. They're Republican, right? They're Republican. They're Republican. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what's it have to do with it? Like, and I'm like, taken back, like, really? What's that? Does it matter? Right? And then it's like unbelievable. I couldn't believe, like, it was like 9 out of 10.
I mean, look,
what's great about working with Aaron, Murphy, Joe, Steve Finkel, Tiago, I have no clue what their political affiliations are at all, whatsoever. I got maybe an idea, but I don't care. I don't know. But all we care about is just telling great stories. We don't talk about politics. We just focus on, you know, working our butts off and having a good time.
I think it's unfortunate that we live in a time where so few people understand that you don't have to agree with people to love them.
Yeah. Well, they're
Yeah.
children. You're dealing with people that are children. That's really it.
Like you're good friends. Like you're good friends with
no.
you're good friends with Palmiotti, right?
Who?
With Jimmy Palmiotti?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I love Jimmy. No, I love Jimmy.
That threw me for a minute. I was like, "Oh no, I've stepped in it." They had
How
a
dare
falling
you.
out. Yeah, it's like
Actually,
Jimmy's.
me, Debbie, Jimmy, Amanda, Walter and Louise Simonson, and Robin and Terry Moore will have a panel. I think it's Friday. It's the Comic Book Couples East Coast edition.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing that? They're doing it? Oh, that is cool.
You were supposed to come and moderate it, remember?
I know. I'm can I just tell you how much FOMO I'm having right now about Baltimore?
Didn't you get permission to go?
I did, but I'm trying to be a good husband.
Well, I don't. How does that make you a bad husband? Going to a Comic-Con?
Because my wife's stressed out, all right? And I like getting my fun times, you know?
Oh, I see.
You know? It's like, it's like when you go to Costco. You know, if you're nice, you can get more than one free sample.
When we were kids, my stepdad takes us to Costco, and I'm wandering around. It's Costco for the first time. I'm like, this place is huge. And my brother comes walking up, and he's got this entire plate of garlic bread squares, and he's just like eating them. And I'm like, where did you get that? And he was like, oh, they're on the table over there. And I was like, I don't think you're supposed to take all of them. But we were my poor stepdad. He had to come in, and we were basically feral at that point.
It's a great
kids
story.
love
I never
Costco.
had a dad, so
Oh,
great story.
I'm
that's
sorry, man.
Yeah. I'd say you really missed out, but you really missed out, bro. That's all.
I mean, you know what? Like my stepdad will adopt you.
Thanks.
He's got a big
you had
heart.
a stepdad, though, Billy. You had a stepdad.
Yeah, till I was 5, and then he died.
He died too?
When I was 5 years old. Yeah,
Your stepdad or your dad?
my stepfather died when I was 5.
Oh.
Yeah, my father died before I was born. My real father.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that's why I'm all fucked up.
Man. He's got daddy issues.
You got daddy issues, yeah.
Well, you know what? I had my mom my whole life, and that's why I have issues.
So how does that make you feel now?
How does it make you
Billy?
feel now?
Yeah.
Billy, let's get into this.
Do you
know
feel
what you
there's
should
still
do?
a void in your heart?
You should maybe go over to DC and take a beloved DC character and pour all of your trauma into that character and make people pay for your therapy.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
Like a superhero whose
Brilliant.
parents died.
Yeah.
What a
And
capital
then takes
idea.
vengeance on the city.
I can get vengeance on the kids that beat me up when I was like 10 years old, and I haven't gotten over it yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
or a guy that stole your chair at a convention, that you've been carrying on to that pain for decades.
Oh, man.
This industry is wild.
Wild shit, man. Wild shit. I'm telling you.
Or that chick in the wheelchair. Now we won't talk about that.
Well, that guy, that time in college. Wait a minute. This is not about me. This is about the guys here. Come on. Drew and Aaron. Come on.
No, it's the time of the evening where everybody gets in there. Everybody gets into that sad valley of despair.
Yeah, do we have any sad music, Nile? Do we have
Oh, hang on. Yeah, let's get
Hello,
some.
darkness,
Let's get the
my
mood
friend.
set for
Yeah,
this.
Aaron, what makes you sad, Aaron? It's the worst thing that ever happened to you, Aaron.
Oh my goodness. So the worst thing that ever happened to me. I don't know if you want me to tell this story. Okay, so I'm gonna tell it. You asked for it. Here it is.
Oh, no.
This is one of the most traumatic things that ever happened to me, and I laugh about it now, which shows you what a sick person it made me. So I had this. I grew up on in kind of like the rural barrio, and we had like a lot of animals and stuff like that on the property. And my mom was shacked up with a drug dealer at the time. And so I'm sitting at the table and I'm eating breakfast, and he's like, "Yeah, how do you like breakfast?" And I'm like, "It's good." And he's like, "You like that bacon?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, that's your pet pig."
What?
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 Yeah. So he had slaughtered my pet pig, cooked it up as bacon, served it to me, and then told me that it was my pet pig. And then later in the day, asked me to go get something out of the barn. And I go out to the barn, and he had mounted my pet pig's head on a pike so that when I opened the door, that's the first thing that I saw.
Holy shit.
Fuck, dude.
Holy
my God.
childhood trauma.
Yeah,
that's like borderline cannibalism.
Yeah,
eating
you got
like
to
your
track that
pet.
guy down
Like,
and fucking kill that guy.
I hear he was in an industrial accident and was splashed with acid. I mean, like the guy was sick. He had problems. I don't bear him any
Wow.
ill will. I've long ago forgiven that and gotten over it. And like I said, now I laugh about how just absolutely awful it is. I told that story laughing to an ex-girlfriend, and it's like I'm telling the story and I'm laughing about how terrible it is. And then I look at her and she's got like tears like just running down her face, and I'm like, "What's the matter?" And she's like, "That's a horrible story." And she like gives me this hug, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot to be traumatized by this."
Yeah, when she
Like what
hugged
did
you, did you reach
inspire
down?
Darkwing Duck
What?
issue 17. How many Darkwing Ducks did you work on?
I worked on the series twice.
Yeah.
So the first series, I think now technically the last 4 issues were ideas of mine that were warped horribly, and they tossed out our scripts, which is why that last crossover, the crossover between DuckTales and Darkwing was so terrible, is because it was like, well, the thing's ending, so I don't need to follow Aaron's guidelines, you know. So like I would say that really like 16 issues at Boom, and then 8 issues at Joe Books.
Oh, gotcha.
So like between 16 and 20 at Boom, and then 8 issues at Joe Books. And then we got to do the omnibus where we got to go back and restore all our scripts to the Boom material. So anybody who's read the Darkwing Duck omnibus, and by the way, if anybody in the chat wants to read the Darkwing Duck omnibus, just message me on X or Instagram and let me know. Give me your email, and I will send you a PDF.
Oh,
Huzzah! Look at that.
I'm gonna do that. I love
416 pages of Darkwing Duck right
Let's
in your
get
inbox.
dangerous. Let's get
Mhm.
dangerous, Aaron.
Because I don't know if they'll ever reprint it. It's out of print, and now like you see it on Amazon. It's like sometimes it's $200, sometimes it's $900. You know, it's
that?
insane. Yeah, because there's only like 7,000 copies of it out there.
Wow.
Do you have a copy?
I do, yeah.
Dolan, do you have a copy?
No, I don't.
What kind of Darkwing Duck fan are you?
I'm a Tick fan. I was a Tick fan growing up. I liked Darkwing Duck, but wasn't my jam when I was a kid.
I was literally
And it was from Boom, so you probably didn't know there was a comic.
Yeah.
We got to do
We
a
would
tick
be-
show, Dolan. We got to do our tick show.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'll see Ben hopefully this weekend. I'll get to see him and I'll ask him to come on.
If you see him, ask him to come on. Let's do a tick show.
Yeah, I'd love to come on for a Tick show. I love the Tick.
Yeah, that'd be
It's
cool.
such a huge
Were
inspiration.
you
I
at
just
the
had
anniversary
dinner.
of Tick?
I just had dinner with Eli while I was out here in LA for the 30th anniversary bash. So Eli
Is
Stone,
that who
worked
you
on
were
the
talking about
comic.
having on, Dolan? Who are we talking about having on?
Could have been Eli. Yeah, Eli Stone.
It was
Yeah, he
Eli,
took
right?
over-
Eli, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I was actually just watching the Tick cartoon when I was making my kids dinner. I love it. It's so good.
It never gets old. Any
No, it
episode, it never gets old.
You know what never gets old? The Rocketeer. That never gets old, huh, Billy?
No, the Rocketeer never gets old.
No.
What do you think about Rocketeer, Billy? What's that little guy there? Look at that.
What?
What? Is his head on backwards?
No, it's a
Oh,
little,
it
little
looks-
toy. Little movie toy.
Is that
I
the
got a lot
movie
of
toy?
Rocketeer stuff. Tons of it.
Yeah.
I love the Rocketeer.
What else do you have that's Rocketeer?
You know, I have the Rocketeers now live. Should I do Kickstarter or Indiegogo?
Whichever one you want.
All right, let's
I thought we'd have a smoother segue to that. You know,
I know,
kinda like,
sorry.
go in and you're like, Billy has a cold, everyone. Just so
the
you know.
Rocketeer Pavlichenko Art Special Edition and some She Special Editions. This is live on Indiegogo right now. It's part of our She Second Coming campaign because this is going to be a quick fulfillment. This book is it's a special edition. It's a 32-page comic. Well, not a comic. It's a 32-page art book, really, that showcases my story that was in the Eisner Award-winning Comics for Ukraine Sunflower Seeds, and working with Jennifer Backum, Dave Stevens' sister. It's a book. It's basically an inside look into the creation of a comic book story. I'll have my my script, my breakdowns, my pencils, my inks, the colors, the story itself, some extras. You know, talking about Ludmila Pavlichenko and Dave Stevens, of course. And if it continues to do well, hopefully, we will. I can't put this on the campaign though, but we will. Be giving a handsome portion of the proceeds to the Harry Cell Leukemia Foundation in Dave Stevens' name. So We're hoping to raise to do some good with this book, raise some cash, and get something that's very near and dear to my heart out there to you fine people. So
you want to
very
play
proud
the
of
video
it.
so they can see some of the interiors?
Yeah, my ears are popping. I'm so friggin' sick. Hang on. Nice video, Nile, Scala. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Billy Tucci here, and I am so proud to announce Crusade Comics' latest project, the Rocketeer Pavlichenko Special Art Edition.
Rocketeer Pavlichenko is a full-color 32-page special featuring my 6-page story that was originally published in the book Comics for Ukraine, Sunflower Seeds, benefiting the refugees of the ongoing Russia-Ukrainian war via crowdfunding platform Zoop and the charity organization Operation USA. In Rocketeer Pavlichenko, our hero, Cliff Secord, encounters the real-life Ukrainian sniper Ludmila Pavlichenko in the Crimean Mountains. Ludmila was credited with over 300 kills during World War II, making her the most successful female sniper in recorded history. And as you'll find out, she's going to have to put all those skills to test to save our hero. This book will feature the original story, plus pages of never-before-published concept artwork, including rough layouts, pencils, inks, script, and bios. So please, join us on this fantastic little adventure. Being involved in this project was truly an honor. I'd like to thank Jennifer Stevens-Bockham for her encouragement, and I'd also like to thank and congratulate Scott Dunbar and all the creators who contributed to Sunflower Seeds on winning the Eisner Award for Best Anthology Book. So thank you. And once again, it's the Rocketeer to the rescue. Rocketeer to the rescue, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, Billy, you missed your calling as a pitchman.
Oh no, I was terrible. I can't even pronounce the title. Now I got it, but for some reason I couldn't say Pavlichenko, and now I'm
That's
sick.
why you get multiple takes.
Yeah, I know, but I get frustrated. The outtakes are the best when you're cursing and stuff.
Oh, I love when I'm doing the videos and he's like, all right, Scott, here we go. We're gonna do it, right? And then he runs through, he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Come on, Tucci, you
No,
damn it.
we got a lot of cool perks, guys. If you guys can, support us. It's a book. Again, I'm really proud of this project. And we got some She stuff. If you guys had missed some of our limited She stuff from past campaigns, it's also available. So Rocketeer, Pavlichenko. The Kickstarter ends, I think, in 14 days. It's a 20-day campaign, or 16 days. Yeah, we're only on our 4th day or 5th day. And if you guys can support us, we truly appreciate it. And yeah.
Awesome. Dolan, Aaron, you guys got anything else before we wrap up?
Yeah, if you guys are interested in let me just move out of the way here, show you this great Kenneth Rocafort cover for Neil Before Doomface.
Kenneth Rocafort. I knew that was his work.
Yeah, no, it was so funny because I'd been talking to him about maybe doing some editing for him at one point, and then Drew was talking to him, and we ended up getting to this conversation, and Drew's like, and so like Drew put it together. And it just seemed like really off the cuff. I was like, I'll do some editing for you. And he's like, oh, what would that cost me? And I said, maybe you could just do me a cover at some point. And then like 2 days later, I get this.
Wow.
And he still has not hit me up to do the work for him. So I'm just like waiting for, to do the editing work or write some stuff for him or whatever it is that he needs, because I was so blown away by this. I'm still so blown away by it. This will be our A cover for the campaign.
So great.
And so if you guys are interested in hearing more about Neil Before Doomface, I'm just about to send out some full page art that Renzo finished. So you want to see some great black and white art from the series, head over to, just send an email over to neilbeforedoomface@gmail.com. And just all you have to say in there is sign me up, and we'll get you on the mailing list, and you will find out all about this, and you'll have access to like exclusive perks for the campaign. It is my plan that everybody who signs up early and supports us early and jumps in on the campaign, no matter what exclusives we do for whatever show, there will always be an overrun that will be available to you guys for being like the first ones in the door. So
fantastic.
Oh, very cool. Dolan, you got anything else up?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Dan Genovese in the chat, he put in the comicmint.com pages, TCM Press. I would just love for everyone to go there. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, type in your email address, sign up. The reason why I'm going to ask you to sign up is because we're going to be doing a pre-sale, a limited pre-sale on each cover of these books. So Each book is going to be limited to 100 copies each, period. That's it. And we're doing a pre-sale of only 20 copies each. And probably like early October, maybe the first week of October. So if you sign up now, you'll be notified when that pre-sale goes up. So you don't want to miss out on getting a copy if you can't make it to New York.
Excellent.
Awesome. Al, I'll put that. I have that I do have that in the link to the description. So I have this direct link in here for the sign up. And I also have the regular TCM website in there if you want to check out other stuff they're doing. And I'll add Neil Before Doomface email to the description for anyone that's watching this recorded. That'll already be in there. This way, if you do want to sign up, you'll have that info right there for you. And again, Dolan and Aaron, I want to thank you guys for coming on, hanging out, bringing TCM Press to us, letting us know what you guys have cooking, what's going to be on the racks. And please don't be strangers. Anything you guys got, just shoot, me or Billy a message. We'll be happy to have you on.
Anytime.
Always love to come on. Always love to come on and mix it up.
Yeah, we'll hang out, man.
Yeah.
At the fall, this is when we start streaming big time. Go do some Halloween streams.
Yeah.
Talking about Jack the Ripper.
Ah, very good. I love it. Yeah, let's do it.
Thursday Night Live.
Oh no, you just stuck a knife in Drew's heart. A project that didn't happen. That was going to be so good.
Well, we can talk about the greatest Jack the Ripper story you thought you'd never heard, and you could tell your story.
Can you talk
that
about
would be a good
story, Dolan?
What's that?
Can you talk about it?
Yeah,
on a future show, because we did that with Billy's Batman. He was trying to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be a good stream, like projects that almost were.
Yes.
Billy and I were talking about doing that.
A whole show, the greatest comic stories you thought you'd never hear.
Yeah, and I've got art. I got a cover piece that we were going to have. I got some art for it. So I got.
That should be a weekly show, Nile.
Is there enough content for a weekly show?
To have someone come and tell us, I don't know, even if it's a half-hour show.
Well,
if you just do if you did like one creator per show, you could definitely.
Yeah,
there's so many.
Do we think we can get enough creators to do that and make it a long-lasting show? Or maybe every other week show? Maybe
everyone's pitch stuff that's gotten rejected or never, things plans fall apart or something.
I'm just messing with you because you're sick.
I know.
Making you think hard.
All right.
Squad not.
I gotta go to bed. I gotta get up at like 5 to pack.
All right, buddy. Have fun at Baltimore. Anyone going to Baltimore, have a good time. Feel free to reach out to any pros and tell them, hey, come on the POPXP. Go see Billy Tucci. And,
hopefully we'll see you guys in New York Comic Con too.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll shoot you a message. We'll make sure to hang out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you all on the next one. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, chat.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining us on POPXP. If you haven't already, make sure to click that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications when we go live and we upload some awesome new content. Also, don't forget to head on over to Twitter and follow us at the POPXP and over on Instagram at the POPXP. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you soon.